Five-time Pro Bowl tackle, 12 seasons in the league, host of The Set with Teestead. It's Terron Armstead, who, of course, listen, we have good energy. Last week, we're like, we'd love to get Terron on to break down week 10 and what happens, the Dolphins win. Like, this was the vibe.
It's not by accident, Kay. You know?
Yeah, you called the upset. People think this is a broken team. But when I'm watching, they're fighting. They're fighting. So how much life, Terron, do you think is left between the McDaniel Tua combo?
There's hope. There's hope in South Florida, in that beautiful city of Miami. Last night's last night's win was impressive. It wasn't a trap game. Buffalo already had their trap game. They already had the game, the team that they looked over, and they came away with a loss against Atlanta. This was not that. They are fighting to keep up with the Patriots and regain the division that they have dominated for years. So this was a prepared Buffalo Bills team that was outplayed, out-physicaled, out-executed. Miami really put things together, and they got a dominant win against a very good team.
Josh Allen had the longest time to throw of his career yesterday. He had over 3.5 seconds. I saw him running around. He was buying time to try to make things work. How much of this Bills offensive dud, you said outplayed, out-prepared, how much of it is a receiving issue, a receiver issue?
Yeah, I mean, they don't have a ton of weapons, ton of guys that can just really go win over and over, one-on-one opportunities. I'm pretty sure Buffalo was a team that was really active before the trade deadline, trying to improve that position. I even heard whispers of them asking the Dolphins about a Jalen Waddle trade. That'll never happen. That's against all the rules. That's against all things football. We're not doing that. So I'm sure they were trying to find ways to elevate that receiver room. But let's not make excuses for these guys. They have been efficient. They have put up points at the highest level in the league for years. They have weapons, an incredible offensive line. James Cook is one of the best running backs in the league, and receiving backs as well. So we won't make these excuses.
I had James Cook on the show last week, and I was excited that he said he doesn't get the love he deserves, even though he got paid, all of that. And most of the sentiment, it went pretty viral, him saying that. And a lot of it was Bills fans saying we focus too much on Josh. We're propping up Josh. Josh has support. Josh can get it done. And then I just think that there's something about this Miami mystique, though. Like, you were there. I know it's hot. I could tell Josh was like uncomfortable even sitting on the bench. Like, there's that whole, how would you describe the strength of the Miami mystique?
It's real. It's real. It's more so a real thing at the beginning of the season. Those first 6 weeks, that's the real heat. It's a problem. Right now, getting into November, 80 some degrees. Well, listen, you play the game wherever the schedule says. We've been in situations that was not favorable.
Yeah.
The Kansas City Chiefs playoff game specifically. I will forever make that excuse. No question. That was different. But we can't give any other narratives to this situation. The Miami Dolphins outplayed the Buffalo Bills yesterday.
Yeah.
Just straight line.
I love that you're saying that.
They did it.
So what does that mean? What does that do for this team? Like, what happens even today? Like, what does this win over the Bills? What's my takeaway on the Dolphin side?
It gives hope. It gives an energy and an attitude that I'll say it, Kay. Look out. They have an opportunity right now. They have an opportunity right now with this run of games that all of them are winnable. You can start to find a consistency and an energy and an identity of this is the style and the brand of football that we want to play on a weekly basis. You get a convincing win like that against a really good team, a prepared team, you know that you're capable. That just builds that confidence. And I'm looking at the Dolphins schedule. It's a run of favorable matchups.
Can we see the Dolphins schedule if we have it? I don't think that we were prepared for that, but it's so funny because in producing, there's a lot of Bills questions in here, and it's dumb of us to do. Like, obviously, it's about the not dumb of us, but like I should have known, thinking like, okay, well, no, let's talk about the Dolphins side in this. Now, what is it about the schedule that you love?
You got the Commanders in Madrid. They are struggling. They don't have their quarterback. Bye week and get everyone healthy. The Saints, they
Uh-huh.
just got their second win yesterday. The Jets, they just got their second win yesterday. Pittsburgh Steelers, who knows? Who knows what that team is? Cincinnati, like literally, these next 5 games, like, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to put too much pressure or expectation, but
Yeah.
if there is a chance, if the stars could align, they have aligned right now for the Dolphins to try to make a run to get back into this thing the best way that they possibly can.
Did yesterday's win mean that it's not over between Tua and McDaniel?
I still believe in those guys because the time that I spent there, what I seen from them as far as their work ethic, their preparation, the execution, we had success. We was the number one offense in the league. You know what I mean? So we can't just overshadow that like it doesn't mean anything. It does. It's 32 teams. So it has been done. It's a winning base. It's a winning and a production based business. So whatever Mike and Tua put out there on the field, it has to equate to wins. It has to equate to high level of production. They know that. The world knows that. I believe that they can. And in this window of games right now, it's the perfect opportunity for them to do so. Also, Devon Chan. Just that alone, his name,
Yes.
Devon Chan. Boom.
Yeah, that I knew that was going to happen. This Buffalo run defense is bad. Not taking it away from him, but like you knew that if you were going to give him the ball, that was going to happen. Hopefully they do down the stretch. They can go somewhere. You're saying that maybe bought them some time together. Obviously, clearly injects confidence. Let's start with the first game yesterday, or to move on to that one. I loved watching. I just love Jonathan Taylor. I love what like everything. Every celebration he adds 3 more. What is that sort of head shake as as somebody who knows great running back play? What are you seeing? What's popping for you with him?
I'm seeing MVP. I'm
Yeah.
seeing MVP, not Offensive Player of the Year. I'm seeing MVP because why not? Matt Stafford is there for sure. He's on fire. The Rams are
Let's
rolling.
take a look. I think we have the MVP update. Let's show you.
What we got going?
There you go.
Drake Maye balling. Yeah. No. Look, I think at this point it's a 2-man race. Well, I won't say that. My fault. That's my Patriots haterism showing. I'm sorry, guys. Drake Maye is in that discussion for sure. I think Matt Stafford and Jonathan Taylor are doing things at a historic pace. Especially for Jonathan Taylor, running backs don't normally win MVP. I want to put his name and make sure his name stays in that conversation, not just Offensive Player of the Year, because that's what it is by default. He is doing things and leading a team in a way that is very rare for us to see. What he did yesterday, his performance yesterday, insane, incredible. And he's been doing it consistently. He's healthy. The O-line is playing extremely well. Great complementary football, too, with Daniel Jones and the downfield threats that they got. This Colts team is scary.
The offensive line's good for Jonathan Taylor, not good for Daniel Jones. So he leads scoring drives in big moments. And I hope you can make sense of this to me, but he's still somehow getting sacked 7 times. He's bleeding from the lips. How much do you trust Daniel Jones in those clutch moments?
I think it comes with reps, really. It's just more reps, more experience together, him getting more and more comfortable in the offense. Like we see Daniel Jones right now at week 9, 10. This wasn't the expectation week 1. And he had just got there. So he's been in this program for 6 months. So he's still trying to figure out, and they're getting more chemistry and cohesiveness. He has some receivers out of the lineup. Now they're back. And it just takes more time, in my opinion. It takes more time, more reps, more energy, getting a chance to go against more defensive schemes and find these answers. And as they continue to fine tune and have their growing pains, but they're winning during those growing pains, that's what bodes the confidence. That's what leads to the success in the back end of the season.
I don't want to compare them to the Eagles, but they're built, I'm looking at like the Eagles last year, right? It was Saquon really week in, week out, leading to this prolific year. And there were a lot of questions, but can Jalen throw? And he wasn't people weren't convinced. And then you get to Spags in New Orleans at the Super Bowl. And Spags says, I'm going to stop Saquon, sell out just completely. And he effectively did. And now, Jalen, can you do it? And then he did. And he's got 2 all-pro elite receivers. I don't know that we have that with this Colts offense. So I'll ask you, in those situations, what do we need to see the rest of the season to believe that Daniel can do that kind of a thing, which we'll have to do in the playoffs, where he can pull a Jalen and be able to hit a Pittman, hit a Tyler Warren, and make that happen? Yep. And should we maybe be wanting to see that more and less reliance on Jonathan Taylor?
I hesitate, Kay, to really give them that Eagles comparison.
Yeah,
because the difference with the Eagles, they had already proven that they can do it, that they had what it takes to get to the Super Bowl. Even though they didn't win it the first time, they proved that they can do it. They can win the big games in January and February. This situation is we're watching. We're watching it unfold. We're watching them develop, but they're winning through their growing pains. I will really compare this Colts team to what's happening in Denver.
Okay.
Like, they have growing pains. They have some ugly wins, but they're winning. And it's building confidence. It's building their personality as a team. It's building their character, all those things. Daniel Jones is showing us that he can lead late game drives and all those good things. It hasn't been the prettiest at all times, but he's effectively doing it. For us as fans, we really got to wait and see. We really just got to wait and see, watch it unfold.
You're calling it complimentary football, but the way, so like, I guess this is maybe like too basic, the way that I'm looking at this, but like running the ball so well as the Colts are with Steichen, with Jonathan Taylor, with the way the O-line is working effectively for Jonathan Taylor, that like, shouldn't that slow down the pass rush? It's surprising to me that Daniel is getting hit so much. Is it to you?
Yeah.
And how do you what needs to happen there so that he's better protected?
Yeah, no, that is shocking. Once you see a guy running the ball like Jonathan Taylor, you usually load up everything for the run, and guys are not so much fixated on rushing the passer. Up front, those guys have been dominant in the run game. They have. They've been imposing their will and knocking the line of scrimmage back. But it's another side of that protection, and that is pass protection. They have to improve as a unit, alone as a unit. Daniel Jones can be more decisive, getting the ball out, check downs and all that. Because they have such a deep threat style offense, it is longer throws. It is holding on to the ball longer in order to let these plays develop. They're hitting guys 60, 70 yards down the field. So when you go boom or bust in your play style, your passing game style, you hold the ball longer, that equals more sacks. So on a down-to-down basis, we can see them guys getting into a more rhythmic flow, getting the ball out better, taking those hits off Daniel Jones, not looking for as many deep shots because of that reason, trying to protect him more, getting the ball out to Jonathan Taylor more. He only had 3 receptions yesterday. Like, he's a great receiving back. So those check downs that I've seen Drew Brees throw for years, and he still threw for 5,000 yards, they're doing these deep shots. And when you do those, you got to hold the ball longer.
What I loved about it is that he was getting just the shit beat out of him, and he was still effective. Like, meaning I don't know, there's this perception that he's going to get rattled. And like, I don't see that. I didn't see that. I like that he was running around with like all that blood coming out of his mouth. I think it says something like you still were able to lead those awesome drives, given the fact that you were taking so many hits. I think that goes a long way just with people in general. I want to flip to the Patriots. Drake Maye is the leader at MVP right now, as you just saw on FanDuel Sportsbook. Those are the odds changes. He's the man. What are you seeing in this? And their run game wasn't working. Yesterday it was working, which is amazing. What are you seeing out of Drake Maye that has you convinced or not convinced that this team is a contender?
He's a playmaker, like, simply. Okay, the young man just makes plays. He's fearless. He'll take a hit, and he's showing his accuracy and his precision. His pre-snap process looks up to par. And the dangerous part about him, he is really fast. Like, it's not just It's not just that he can extend the play with it, like he sliding. If Drake May gets an opening, he can roll. He's up there in the speed with Josh Allen and those guys. So man, he's a real threat. He's a real problem. It pains me to say because I'm not a fan of those guys. I'll never be, but I do respect what they're doing. I respect Mike Vrabel to the highest level. He is very sure about this type of team that he wants to have and the style of football they will play. They'll be a smart, tough team. They won't beat themselves. All those good things, and it equates to wins. He knows how to create a culture, and they're doing it.
If you look at the AFC standings, and I think we have them here, there's an 8-2 situation. It's the Colts we just talked about, the Broncos who you brought up, and the Patriots. They're all tied up. Which of
Wow.
those three do you have the most faith in, all things considered?
I'm going Broncos. I'm going Broncos. Sean Payton. I know him
Obviously.
very well. I trust the guy. I trust that he just finds a way to win that game. That game. He'll win a game 3-0. He'll win a game 31-28. It really doesn't matter. Like they're never rattled. They're never out of anything. Their O line and D line is super fire. And when you're built that way, when those two lines are constructed that way, you got a chance to beat anybody any given Sunday, really. So I love what the Broncos have going on, even in the ups and downs of the offense and the ugly wins. They're winning. They're building confidence. They're building character, and Bo Nix will continue to get better. Like he's gonna grow. He's gonna get to a point, and we've seen him light it up 4 touchdown games, and we also seen him have a stinker like he did last week. But they're winning, so
But you're not
I
talking
believe in
about him
Sean
like
Payton.
you're talking about Drake May.
I think it's different. Okay, I think it's different. It's more. Bo is playing a more backyard style of
Mm,
offense. It's more extended plays, freestyling, not necessarily in the timing of the play. I think Drake May is doing an exceptional job of knowing where he's going before the snap. I think he's getting up to the line, diagnosing the defense, and really like Stefan, I'm coming to you, like before the snap. I think Bo Nix is still allowing everything to unfold and seeing it before he makes these throws. I'm not seeing as much anticipation from him as I'm seeing from Drake May. But the playmaking ability, Bo, he's doing that. And the late game situations, fourth quarter,
yeah.
2 minute drives. He's showing that in an early age, which is impressive.
We were getting Drew Brees comps for Bo last year. This is not the Bo that we saw last year. So I'm curious what if we could dial in Coach Payton and say, I'd love to see that. I mean, I said my piece. I want them to run the ball more. I want them to do that more. And it feels like with Bo, it was not like that last year.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to give Bo
Mhm.
the Drew Brees comparison. Different quarterback, different style, different stature. Bo's a big body. You know what I mean? He's a bruiser, really, and he's very athletic. He can run. Drew, love him to death. He's slow. I was faster than Drew. And he knows that. So, but he was a surgeon. He was so precise, accurate. He knew where everyone on the field would
But
be.
Bo was doing that. Bo was getting the ball out exactly where it needed to be last year. Are you gaslighting me or am I wrong? Like
No,
that
not
it's
at all. Not at
something
all. This is
different.
the thing, okay? This is the difference. So Sean Payton does a great job of playing people to their strengths or like putting them in
Yeah.
position to be successful.
Yes.
So last year, rookie Bo, we're not going to add these double routes and these complex concepts. We're going to
Right.
have a more simplistic offense. We're going to have this slant drag concept. We're going to check downs to the running back, these receiver screens. Now we're
Right.
seeing these long developing plays. We're seeing more dynamic motions. We're seeing some even trick plays on. So he's adding more to Bo's play. He's adding
Mm.
more and having more tools. You have to kind of decide and decipher which ones you're going to use. So the playbook and the game plan for Bo has evolved, and his play will continue to evolve too. But it's a process. We got to trust the process.
Yeah. You have belief in the defense and that Coach Payton in that game when it comes in the AFC, that coach knows how to win it. And that's a hard
believe
thing
so.
to argue. That's a hard thing to argue because he's been there, he's done that. Vrabel got his team, that Jags team, to 2017. Obviously, like what he's doing is incredible. Coach of the year, hopeful. But the fact that we have seen Sean go and do that, there has to be something baked in that that is super, super impressive.